What is up, you guys? It's Pals with Your Tarot. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you're feeling me. Today, we are not doing astrology. We're not doing astrology. We're not doing tarot. We are doing a little bit something different. And I cannot be who I am. I couldn't be where I'm at without this young lady that is going to be coming up here. Her name's Krena Dean. And when I tell you my life has changed from years ago, like first time I met Karina, she gave me a reading, and her style of reading was crazy. Her style of reading was crazy. It was beyond transitional, and I never forgot. I never forgot. And throughout the years of this, right, Karina has evolved, and so anytime I really want to do a check in on where I want to go and what I want to do, Karina really came and gave me that understanding that I needed. And I'm just so thankful for her. The tarot deck, Karina, the Udemy course, Karina. I just can't. Come on, man. I just can't. I can't. I couldn't be here without Karina. So I really want to shout her out. She's about to come on right now. So let's definitely put her up here. Let's add her to the stage. Welcome. What's up,
Hello.
girl?
Happy New Year, y'all. Happy
Happy.
Gregorian calendar
Yes,
New Year.
yes.
Gotta make that clear.
So please, can
so,
you tell them about who you are? Like, I don't want to just like limit to you because I hate when people limit me. Like, who is
yes.
Karina Dean?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Karina Dean. I've been studying astrology since about 2012, 2010, actually. And, I wanted to be a great astrologer, but I decided that actually astrology needs to be something that's applied to life. And so I started experimenting with manifestation in astrology versus prediction astrology. And so my whole technique has shifted because I realized I have so many aspirations in life, and how can I be an example of how to use astrology to help get what you want out of life. And so instead of just telling people what to do, I started to experiment that way. And that's when the real magic happened for me. Learning about your cycles, learning about how to take action, when to slow down, when not to. These are the things that, it's actually ancient secrets, but we have to almost like experiment with ourselves. And that's basically what my astrology studies have been. It's turned into an experiment of manifestation and astrology. So I also incorporate the gene keys, which is connected to human design. And that
Yes.
is absolutely insane. And it's a lot for a regular
What
common
is
mind.
the gene key? Because I remember the if you guys had the first deck of my son's daughter deck,
hmm
which was designed by Karina, she actually put the gene keys in there, and it was a lot. It was intense.
Yeah.
It was a lot. So
Yeah.
what is a gene key? Just we don't want to get off because I already know
Yeah.
how we get down. But what is a gene key?
It's basically another way of saying a gate. And in the human
Mm,
design, they break down it basically is the astrology chart, honestly, you guys, and it's mapped out by varying degrees, maybe about 10 degrees on each part of. You can break down the chart various ways. You could break it down by 30 degrees, you could break it down by 10 degrees in each zodiac sign. So the gene keys basically is called a gate. It's out of human design, and it's basically a small chunk of each zodiac sign. So you can layer the gene keys onto your natal chart. And that's when really cool stuff happens. We could see how to apply the gene keys. And basically, they're connected to an archetype, which is like the I Ching and these ancient
mm.
archetypes of basically human personas. And it's also connected to the elevation of our genetic coding. So just remember that astrology, especially when you're looking at astrology, you're looking at various ancient practices. And one of the main practice of astrology, especially in the West that we do, is based off of animals. So you're dealing with the more primal part of your nature. When you bring the gene keys into it, it's bringing you more into the elevated example
Mm.
of what you could possibly be, of your potential. So that's how I like to see it. Remember, astrology is like what your tendencies are, your goods and your bads. You know, the gene key says, let me put this in your hands. You take this and be conscious of self and evolve to the highest potential. And so when you merge these two together, you're like a human walking with your blueprint to superhero lifestyle. If that's, you know, that's one way that you could see it.
That's great. Wow.
Hmm.
So, let's dive into it, baby. Let's dive into
Yes.
it. What do we got in the ethers, baby? What's going on?
Okay. So 2024 is a magnificent year. I'm very excited about this year. In numerology, it reduces down to an 8 year. So it's a Saturnian year. So it's important that you get very much so acquainted with Saturn in your chart, natally and the transiting Saturn. Because when you're following Saturn, it can be a little daunting, but it's all about learning how to be consistent. And you're actually going to find that the more consistent you are, the more pleasure you get out of life. And that's what 2024 has, a lot of pleasure in this energy. If you learn how to be more prepared, more disciplined, more accountable, you know, not perfect, just accountable and with more integrity. Now, today is such a special day because it's 111. But also when you put together the entire date of January 11th, 2024, it reduces down to a master number 11. So
Wow.
it's a heavy, beautiful karmic day, a beautiful day. But master 11 is a heavy karmic number, right? It's not an easy number to channel.
Mm.
But with the new moon in Capricorn, it's like the universe is like, channel that, channel this. So with a new moon in Capricorn, you're setting new intentions about business, about organization. And when you think about organization, it has two different definitions. You can be organized in life, but there's also like an organization of like people, meetings, and like when you sign up for an organization. So I want you to get acquainted with that word and think about how you want to be organized where Capricorn is in your chart. So, for example, if you have Capricorn in the first house, this is about being more organized about your presentation. I have Capricorn in the fourth house. So, if you can't see, I turned off the lights because I need to be more organized at home. That's what I'm going to start doing. So, just learning how to create a plan as simple as you can, and basically create ways in which you can hold yourself accountable to that plan. And this could be, I feel like this year could be really great for a lot of the underdogs, the people who feel like they haven't had or seen success yet. Because it's really connected to, if you the astrology is taking down the giants right now.
Mm.
It really is. And not to say that the giants are bad, but there's a lot of people in authoritative positions, influential positions, that abuse that power. And so this Capricorn new moon, with Pluto being at the at 29 degrees, not the final, but 29 degrees Capricorn, as you can see, Pluto is wreaking havoc on the higher execs, corporations, and people who are trying to maintain high level of reputations. If they don't have good integrity, Pluto is wreaking havoc on that, as you can see globally. And so this is just to say, when you look at your personal life, to not focus too much on what's being taken down, but focus on how you can build yourself up through organization, preparation, discipline, and consistency.
Wow.
So that's a theme for today's new moon, is to
Mhm.
make a plan. And yeah, go ahead.
So, how do ones find? You says you spoke about the whole Saturnian thing. How does people make plans now? I mean, we're gonna dive more into it throughout the interview, but
Yeah.
what do you have for example, as far as for people to make plans doing astrology? I mean, obviously they will come to you, and
Yeah.
so you're able to break it down. But
Yeah.
um, how does one start?
Yeah. Well, first you want to think about your and this coincides with astrology. Mars, just if you just take Mars, a symbol of Mars and what it is, and you put Saturn with it, in modern astrology, actually in all astrology, these two work very well together. So just taking them out of their place, Mars and Saturn. So your will, your wants is Mars, Saturn is your plan. So you want to create a list of resolutions or goals and things that you want. And you want to consider the uh, actionable type of goals, things
Hmm.
that you can actually take action towards. And you need to be ambitious with your goals. I mean, there are, like, techniques like, oh, you make them small and simple. Absolutely. But when you're first setting pen to paper, you want to create an ambitious goal, something that feels out of reach. And I would reduce it down to at least 3 to 5 goals, but not just one. A lot of people just make one resolution goal. Especially in the 8 year, I personally think you should at least do 3 to 5 major goals, looking at the different areas of your life. So, like family, relationships, of course, personal, like how you look or how you want to present yourself. Also, maybe, I mean, there's different categories. So, like career, maybe some of you want to travel. Consider the various aspects of your life and make one goal, maybe for each aspect. And so then you can take certain cycles and start to implement those goals. But I mean, the way that I do it, it isn't more extensive, but it's all about you. Okay. So, one of the things that you want to just keep in mind, maybe make a side mental note: new moons, full moons, and the in betweens. During the new moons is when you want to implement actionable things, like something that you want to start brand new. You want to do that during the new moons. You want to give yourself from the new moon to the next full moon to actually take action between those times. And you're working with the universe, right? And as the moon grows fuller to its biggest extent, you're going to get something happen there, right? Some sort of conclusion, some sort of thing that makes you say, okay, I implemented action during the new moon. What are my results? Now, in between a full moon and a new moon, the sky goes dark. This is the time where you want to evaluate, rejuvenate, and maybe replan. Okay, analyze what has worked, what didn't, and then replan and set yourself up for the next new moon. So, if, let's say you wanted to start just there, because I'm telling you, my planning is extensive. But if you just wanted to start there, you can implement. All right, I want to do this goal during this moon cycle, this goal during this new moon cycle, and then follow that path that I just said. That's basically simple, um, witchy astrology stuff, working with
And
the moon.
listen, you guys, I just want to say that we're going to talk about her worksheets when we close it up. But um, listen, after this reading, I want you, after this video, I would love for you guys to go follow her. We have her Cash App here. We got her Facebook, and we have her email for those who don't have Facebook. And I recommend that you guys go in. If you cannot get the readings, she has worksheets. How much are your worksheets?
They start from 299 because I really just want people to have this information.
299.
Yeah.
Extensive. I remember the last time we she had a part of fortune. You had a
Yes.
part of fortune. I had gotten a part of fortune reading from her, and your part of fortune, it's obvious what it says,
Hmm.
and it was so good. It was so good. And then after that, she gave me worksheets.
Homework.
I had homework, guys. I had homework. So
Yes.
and you're a Gemini, right?
A moon in Gemini. I'm a sun in
Mm.
Taurus.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go. Yeah, there we go. So the Taurus, Moon, and Gemini. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So I recommend this. But we're gonna get straight. We're gonna move on because we're on
Hmm.
limited time.
Hmm.
So you wanted to speak about a few other things that's
Yes.
going on for 2024.
Yes. So one of there's 2 to 3 main landmark moments that are happening in 2024. One January is actually one of the biggest months in my opinion of 2024 because of Pluto moving into Aquarius. And the reason that this is such a big deal is because Pluto is a slower moving planet and it takes at least 15 plus years to move out of a zodiac sign. And so on a collective global level, you feel that shift happen. So Pluto's a planet that has to do with your personal power, but when it comes to society, it also has to do with the powers that be and how it's almost like analyzing how toxic have they been, because Pluto is very much connected to toxicity and cleansing that, and psychology, the psychology of abuse, the psychology of
Wow.
trauma, the psychology of sexual desires, right? The health of it versus the not health. And I like to break Pluto down versus neurotic versus erotic. So Pluto moving into a different sign shifts a lot of things. And we all know we're moving into the age of Aquarius. Pluto moving into Aquarius is a huge, big shift of getting the collective ready for what humans are going to be experiencing in the age of Aquarius. So, looking at honestly where Pluto is right now, Capricorn at 29 degrees, I'm like holding on because I love occult stuff. I love secrets coming out. Pluto has a lot to do with secrets, but things are getting crazy. I say, like, excuse my language, shit is hitting the fan and it's like spreading everywhere. If you haven't noticed the politics of things and how the corruption of corporate music industry, movie industry, this is all related to Capricorn. Pluto being at 29 degrees Capricorn is like, this is the final, like, hurrah. Like, I need to make sure I cleanse all of this out before I get into Aquarius. So the levels of cleansing that we've been experiencing and continue to for the next 10 days are going to be extreme. And Pluto also rules over extremities. So even me, like, I'm like, I don't know if I want to be this woke. This is getting out of hand. Secrets, conspiracies, things that people would say you're crazy in 2012 are coming true. They're showcasing, and it's hard to use your discernment about these things. So basically, up until January the 20th, you really just want to brace yourself. You want to be cognizant of your own mental health because Pluto deals with psychology. And while you are seeing a lot of things happen, you want to ask yourself, am I in the space of neuroses where my mental is getting unstable? Or am I, enjoying the reveal, and depending on where you are, what your transits are, some people are more susceptible to neurotic nature. Um, Now, Pluto moves into Aquarius, you're moving from corporate entities and authority into influencers because Aquarius is like the popular people, the influences. Aquarius also rules over humanity's progression and hierarchy. So, Aquarius to me, with Pluto moving here, could be a rags to riches flip. Like, the things that people value or don't value could rise and become the new hierarchy of value. It's hard to say because there's a lot that I don't like to predict, but in
No,
understanding,
girl, listen.
yeah,
This is predict that day, baby. Predict that
yeah,
day. I'm about
well, yeah. It's really important to see that Pluto wants to cleanse things. So you have to ask yourself if you're, oh, did we lose her? Or you have to ask yourself, if you're in a position of influence, are you empowering people or are you hoarding that power? That's a very big thing with Pluto in Aquarius. A lot of, oh, there you are.
I was
um,
trying to give you the stage.
Oh,
I
you're
didn't
trying to
want
give
to,
me stage. I thought I lost you. Okay, so
you
yeah, it's about empowering influence on a personal level. How can you empower people, right? Because Pluto rules over Scorpio, which rules over the eighth house. And the thing that people don't get about power that I feel is really important to see, especially when you're manifesting, is that it's toxic to hoard power. right? So Pluto is opposite Scorpio. Pluto is Scorpio, opposite Taurus. Taurus is the hoarder. You don't want to be like that. You want to be more like Scorpio with power. And while it seems like a lot of Scorpios will hoard their power, they're the more toxic ones. The people who are truly powerful,
Respectfully, respectfully.
respectfully, the people who are truly powerful, they share power. You empower a group of people, and specifically Pluto is empowering a group of people, Aquarius. You can start with your friendships, like looking at the friends who are truly near you, or I'm not as a heavy, like I have a lot of friends, so
Yeah,
just the
me neither.
people that are around you, how are you empowering them? I did a manifestation exercise last year, and a lot of people struggled with this because it's kind of like a mental analysis of where you are when it comes to overcoming trauma and empowering somebody. So I said, take somebody that you don't really like, that you aren't very cool with, maybe an enemy or an op or whatever, somebody you're, and then write out like what you would want to see for them, like an empowering move for them. And some of this might be like you're not necessarily wanting them to have more, but you want them to get a better one person. I'll use myself for example. I used the person, I said, this person's in a lot of great powerful positions, but I really would wish for them to get closer to their family, right? So there's two things that are happening in this exercise, and I think it's a great exercise if you're willing to take the challenge. First, it meets you at your own trauma. How well are you able to forgive? How well are you able to see your own issues with a person that you have friction with? And then how well are you able to empower another person, even if they're not somebody that is an alliance to you? If you can do that, you can do anything with Pluto and Aquarius. So that exercise is basically like, if you can do that, you can handle anything, because it's testing how much you would be abusive if you were in power, right? Because
Oh my
just
God!
imagine,
Listen,
you
I'm not
know?
gonna hold you, Karina. A few years ago, I don't know which year you did this because I get a lot of readings from you, but I remember a few years ago you had said about my Saturn placement that I either could be war or peace, and
Hmm.
that has stuck with me for all these years because I could either as I could be a very open person and have a lot of people around me, but then I could burn down those bridges very fast.
Yeah.
Um so it's me, this is very interesting the way that you're breaking it down, and
Hmm.
that's something that I possibly would like to do, because to be in power, that is a big responsibility, you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And for you to have that mindset of you saying that, that's deep, that's deep, sis, that's deep. Well, carry
It's
on, carry on.
it's the ultimate. So it's not an exercise if you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it. But if you can't do that exercise, then you should be careful about striving to be powerful in a very powerful position, because Pluto will take you down. It means that you haven't learned how to overcome trauma. And yeah, you can have people that you've cut off that you don't feel are healthy in your life, but it's not really about them. It's about how you are unleashing your power, and that's
Mm.
what that exercise is really testing you on. So people will be hungrier to be the popular kids, and people will want, like, Pluto will extract from you your own toxicity. A good example for me was when I was in college. I was in this organization called BHA, Black and Hispanic Alliance, and I was power hungry. And the person who was in charge, I wanted to replace them. I was like, I want that position. And so I'm being very forthcoming and showing you guys that I struggled with working under that person. Like, I had a lot of jealousy, and I eventually got that position a year later and had to learn what it really means to be in a position like that. That's what I mean. Everybody has that potential right now to rise in their own power, but you need to understand the psychological responsibility you have when you're in power, because that's why Pluto is taking down these people, right? They were in a position where they could have helped others, but they abused those positions. And I'm just trying to make sure you don't do that. you know. Now, the other thing with Pluto being in Aquarius that I should say, look at where Aquarius is in your chart. It's naturally a place where you can also empower the defenseless. Now, that's where the real fun is. In looking at, let's say you have Pluto in the second house, you might want to empower people who aren't really good with their money or who don't know how to make money. You know, if you have Pluto in the fifth house, you might want to empower children. You might want to help them see the potential of their talents. That's where the real fun is. And that's the rise to your power, to look at where people are intimidated, defenseless. They can't do anything. They can't see their power, and you can show them how to get there. So if you're using Pluto like that, you're probably going to rise very fast. And especially with Pluto moving in Aquarius. And so
Exactly.
that, yeah, so that's why I
Hold
say
on,
to use
hold on,
those
hold
two.
on, hold
Oh,
on.
yeah, go
Keep
ahead.
it. Hello?
Hey.
Yes. Sorry. You
It's
know how
okay.
that goes. Children and all that other
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. Look.
So yes, back to reality.
Yeah.
So
So,
Pluto and Aquarius.
yeah. Now, I know that you want me to be brief, so I can move on to another transit that I think people should be watching. Um,
Hmm.
and I want to get to Saturn and Pisces. But before that, the North Node is going to be in Aries, has been in Aries. Now, most astrologers, when they're looking for what direction, what your purpose should be in life, most astrologers want to look at the North Node because it's almost like a quick way to get an idea of what our direction is. With the North Node being in Aries and continuing to be in Aries this year, it has a lot to do with independence and letting go of codependency and people pleasing. So, it's important that where Aries is in your chart that you have a balance, you know, because the North Node energy is what we call Rahu. It's a very hungry energy, but at the same time, it's one of the best ways to open yourself to opportunity. And so you really want to look out for toxic attachments and your own inner codependency, because everybody has a codependency to something, right? If you have Libra in the 10th house, you might have a codependency to your reputation or your career. And so moving more towards Aries will help you to be more independent and learn to be detached. Now, really speaking quickly on the gene keys, the gene key that the North Node is currently transiting is gate 42, which is the gift of detachment. Learning how to detach will bring you into the city of celebration. So I
Girl.
struggle too. I struggle with detachment too. So that's just a little gift. And the North Node will be moving soon into, I believe, gate 3, which has to do with playfulness. Remember, Aries is a very young energy. So even though it's an 8 year, even though there's a lot of focus on that Saturnian energy, a lot of people are going to be hungry for success this year. With the North Node moving into gate 3, remember to not take things so seriously. If things don't go to plan, let it go. Be connected to your inner child, to the chaos, and embrace life like in wonder. That's the North Node. And the reason that that works for you is because that's your destination. Your destination is to first detach and embrace life like a child would. Wonder, curiosity, make a mess. It's okay. You could clean it up later. Things may not go to plan. It's okay. That's one of the secrets of winning, I think, in 2024 is understanding that, because a lot of people are going to be taking themselves too seriously with all the Saturnian energy.
Yeah, I'm already, we Saturn gang up in here
Mm-hmm.
heavy.
Yes.
So I've been feeling this. I was starting to feel the like I gotta get like, and I'm always feeling like that though. I'm always feeling like I gotta get my shit together. I don't know if this is just a Capricorn thing,
Yes.
but it just feels like I always have to get my shit together. But
Yeah.
this year, and today is very significant because if you guys can't see, nobody didn't notice, but I cut off my locks. So
Woo!
speaking about a lot of transitions as far as like letting things go, detachment, and then speaking about, the whole power hungry thing. I had a lot of Karina, I had a lot of different feelings about certain things. I really do. Definitely when it comes down to social media. It's a gift and it is a curse because you always feel like even though you're not in trying to compete, but there is it's evident when you are in the same field with other people and then you start to feel that competition. So now you're
Absolutely.
telling me about this competing thing and it's just like, okay, I get it. And then me having my Mars is in my Aries is in Mars or something like that. So I'm already like just impulsive. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very impulsive type of person.
Mm-hmm.
So Karina, you have all these worksheets already done, or is this that does people have to get a reading from you to be able to know how the worksheets work? How does this go when it comes down to your worksheets?
Well, the worksheets actually bounce off of my astrology work that I do on Facebook. You don't need to get a reading from me to start doing worksheets because it's all in there for you. But a reading will help you to go deeper because you'll have me to take it to that next level. But honestly, I feel like the first step is the worksheets because, for example, we just talked about the Aries North Node. You were talking about competition. One of the first worksheets I think people should get this year is my Mars worksheets. They're $2.99. And this is because I talk about Mars is how you win and dealing with your levels of competition. So if you're in the same field with somebody, right? And for example, I have a Mars in the eighth house. What I'm trying to win is very different than what someone else is trying to win. So we could be in the same field, but if you're focused on competing with another person, you're actually drawing their Mars energy instead of your own. So knowing what you're trying to compete with will help thwart you into focusing on yourself, because a lot of what happens with Mars is that we compete with other people. And yes, people will show to us something great that they can do and you'll be like, what should I do? That's really just the universe saying, are you competent? Are you competent? Right? And competition externally can be a beautiful thing because it inspires you and makes you feel something, and that's called being competent. That's what it's inspiring you to do. But then go back to where your Mars is, because somebody who has Mars in Aries should be competing differently than somebody who has a Mars in Cancer. And they could be in the same exact field. So if you're in astrology, for instance, a Mars in Aries person should be competing physically versus a Mars in Cancer who should be competing intuitively and emotionally. And I break those types of things down in the worksheets for you. And then I ask you questions so that it can drive you towards your answer. So the worksheets are really like my gift because I'm using my own energy, which sorry, I don't want to go off, but our Gene Keys profile is such a huge thing in helping when you're a person who does astrology. And a lot of my blueprint is to ask people questions. So once I realized that my readings are going to clarify for you, but I ask you the questions that help get you going. And that's my gift to you as a person who studies astrology.
You are
And so,
gifted, highly gifted. I love guys. Have you ever? I would love to hear in the comments. Have you ever really heard, or even came across people, um, astrologer like Karina? Karina, look. Someone says this is very helpful. Convo, thank you for the info. Someone says
great.
greetings. Listen, guys, I would love for you guys to go on Facebook, get her information on Facebook. Like
Mhm.
I said, cash app her, contact her, get these worksheets. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna keep on saying it in the interview that this was very like she has changed my life. Like as even down to knowing who I am. Like I said, I spoke about the whole Saturnian thing of when I was younger, not to because I know we have a little a little bit time, but when I was younger, I always had this pull where I had a lot of people that were attracted to me, but then I had a lot of war. So
Mhm.
it when I have did my first reading with Karina, well, a few readings with Karina, and Karina spoke to me about my Saturn placement and how once again being either peace or war, it really broke it. It made me look at things a little bit differently because I just didn't understand, like, what is it about me that makes people either love me or hate me, you know?
Mhm.
And so astrology, you're able to really break it down and show you, even down to, like, I think the other day you spoke about Taraji. No offense,
Mhm.
respectfully, you spoke about her
Mhm.
eyebrows, and I always felt this way about her eyebrows, for real. I always felt this way about her eyebrows. But you spoke about just to able to be able to see someone's facial features and be able to
Mhm.
see certain aspects of that is straight, that's impeccable, that's amazing. So going back to you, because I know we are at 7:33. um
Mhm.
is there anything else that you would like to speak before we wrap it up?
Yes. The last thing is I'll for a couple of minutes talk about Saturn and Pisces, which is also all of these things that I'm saying are big transits, but they color a lot of the year. And then understanding the new moons as they come and how I talked about planning, you'll be set, right? But you can also go by your own cycles. So everybody, I learned this from Lloyd Strayhorn's book, Numbers in You, and I've been
Shout out to
using it.
Lloyd, baby, shout out to Lloyd.
Yeah, I met him midway through my journey and he changed the game for me with numerology and astrology. And I've been doing this ever since, which is planning based off of my cycles. So you have a 52-day cycle, and I break those down in the worksheets as well. I won't break it all down here. So you can plan off of the new moon and full moons, off of your personal cycles, right? And then know the big major transits. So I talked about Pluto moving into Aquarius, North Node in Aries. The last one would be Saturn in Pisces, and it's a Saturn year, so we have to touch on that. So Saturn moving in Pisces is about preparation, discipline, and all these things. Remember that my way of doing astrology is manifesting in astrology. So if you talk to another astrologer, they're going to tell you predictively the obstacles that Saturn's going to bring you. But I do a more boutique like astrology. I just want to get right to how can you manifest with Saturn. So being in Pisces is a difficult way to manifest because Pisces actually is slippery. It can't really be held down. You actually have to learn how to work hard, not working hard. That's my theme for Saturn and Pisces. You actually there's this thing that's coming over me that you can't take yourself very seriously this year, but you have to have a good plan, right? So don't just go like, oh, I'm just gonna wing it. Don't do that. Have your plan, but if the plan goes to chaos, then flow. Saturn and Pisces, flow with it and see what happens, but have a plan. Also be more consistent with your emotional intelligence. How well is it that you deal with, you know, difficult obstacles in a way that is bringing you into, because Pisces is very wise. So like people who struggle and overreact, they're going to have a difficult time with Saturn and Pisces. Pisces water energy is very much so like, I'm over this, I'm going to float away, right? So you have to learn how to deal with your reactions in a way that is above it all, like it is very very wise. When you see yourself getting triggered, be like, I'm triggered by this. What does that mean for me? Do that work. Don't like
Mm,
make it about the other person. Don't
okay.
project. That's very big with Pisces. The other
Hmm.
thing is that you can also have a lot of fun with Saturn and Pisces because Pisces is a glamour role player. So, I mean, like, even if it's your personal life, vlog and pretend you're like a famous person, like going through your day. Take photos of yourself, glam yourself up, and do these things regularly. Role play and play around because Saturn is saying work hard by not working hard. Have
Hmm.
fun with Pisces in your chart. And of course, the last thing is addictions and things like that, which is heavy for Pisces, self sabotage. These are natural things that we have to deal with as humans. Saturn moving through Pisces is helping you to regulate some of the things that you're addicted to, you know, and finding ways that you can replace that with something that would maybe, signify that. But, have grace and compassion because it's Pisces. Don't be hard on yourself, but recognize what your addictions are. I have an addiction to sugar, coffee. Like this is something
Me
I
too.
have to work on this year.
I love me
I
some
have to
coffee,
do it.
baby.
but doesn't mean that I should, like, strip myself of it. No, like, have grace with yourself because it's Pisces energy. So I'm thinking, I'm going to make it like every Tuesday and Thursday, like I'm going to try to regulate it. Try to regulate your addictions. And we have many: TV, phone, social media. It's
Work,
not, yeah, work. Oh my gosh,
love
right?
work. I'm a workaholic. You already know that.
Yeah,
I struggle with not working. It's hard.
right.
It's
So
hard.
you got to figure out, like, how can you gracefully get yourself into work-life balance, and gracefully, don't just like force yourself, because it's going to be harder. But so a lot of grace, a lot of compassion towards your own self-sabotage. So, like, I'm a big procrastinator. Like, this year I'm ready to nip it in the bud. I tell myself, look, I'm procrastinating. Let me just go and do this for 2 minutes, and then it ends up being like 10 minutes and I've gotten something done. Like, be graceful, but be accountable and recognize the self-sabotage in you. Recognize the person who's addicted,
Mm,
and be kind to them. Be kind to that version of you, and you will win with Saturn and Pisces this year.
wow.
Yeah. So that would be my main thing to take away. And I have in the worksheets for 2024, I think they're just 555, the extensive way to plan for your 2024. And then it comes with 3 videos that you can follow me do it. Remember, I'm a moon in Gemini. So if my energy is like too much for you, that's why. um, but it really just
I already
walks
knew
you.
what I was getting myself into. That's why you said before the interview, you said, "Can we get it done before XYZ?" And I said, "Okay." But I just want to say you be chatting, so I already know. That's why I'm bringing
Exactly.
it back down. Like, okay, let's get back to what we need to talk about. Because
Exactly.
I ask you questions all day, but I'm not. I know how it
Yeah.
is, and then so um
Yeah.
we Karina also has Udemy. Like I you the voice on Udemy is actually Karina's voice. That's not my voice. That's not my voice. It's Karina's. She had did my course for me, and I'm so thankful because it was one of those things that I had told Karina, "What is my goals?" And it's interesting because it was like it just happened. It didn't. It wasn't nothing like we tried to force it. Like, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. It went gracefully. Like we
Hmm.
did. I think. Well, I don't know if it was the tarot cards first and then the course, or if it was
Hmm.
the course and then the tarot cards. But Karina has so many aspects about her, and she's also a musician, an
Yeah.
artist. Like
Hmm.
you once you follow Karina, you're gonna be like, wow, she's dope. It's just so much layers to her, and I'm the same way. I have so much layers to me. That's why I dislike when people just call me a reader or a soap maker or this and that. Because if you
Right.
knew me for years, you know that I was doing different things at different times in my life, and
That's
you're one
right.
of the type of people. So
Hmm.
um, this let's just highlight her again, guys. Screenshot. And please hit her up on Facebook. That is her Cash App. This is her email for those who don't have Facebook right there. And so she does have her worksheets. It starts from $2 and it goes
Hmm.
up. Okay. And
Yeah.
then we have readings. Uh, does your readings vary depending on what kind of
Yeah.
readings you are? So
Most of my readings start at a really like $15 because I'll just jam in a 10-minute audio reading. All of my readings are audio, but I do more extensive ones where, we can look at the whole chart. But most of the time I'm giving you like just exactly what I need you to understand simply about this part of your chart. So like the $15 readings will focus on one aspect of your chart. And I do this because I see my astrology as boutique astrology. It's not predictive, it's manifestation astrology. And so I really just want to get it into the hands of people who understand that, because a lot of people focus on astrology and say, tell me who I am and tell me what I should do. And I got really tired of telling people what to do. Like, it's, you're supposed to do this for yourself. So a lot of my work is, all right, now go and do this work, and so it's really easy for me to do a reading and get you the homework and get you to take the action. And that's how it is working with me. I'm going to usually tell you to go and do something after I'm done reading. You're not just going to sit and hear me tell you about yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the difference.
I love it.
Mhm.
I also want to just highlight she does different, like, she uses the gene keys. Karina also, what is the thing with the, like, the maps that we did last time
That's
when
astrocartography.
astrocartography? So
Yes.
I had wanted to move to Atlanta, and I was having so much trouble moving out there. I was going
Mm,
like back and forth for like 3, 4 years, man, 3, 4 years, and
mm,
I could not get an apartment out there. And then I was like, you know what? Let me hit up my son, see what she say, and
mhm,
then boom, she tells me that's not where you supposed to be at. If you gonna be there, you gotta be in Savannah, Georgia, and
mhm.
so it worked. It hand in hand. Sorry, y'all. We glitching,
Yeah, just a little bit.
but you know, yeah, I know. I just noticed that it's glitching, but yes, you guys. We are going to close out this amazing interview. This was very successful, Karina. I'm very thankful to have you on my show officially. I don't know why I took so long, but I gotta come correct
Everything
with you. You know, I can't just be coming back. So I'm so
everything
thankful to
works
have you.
good in time.
Yes. And you
Mhm.
guys, please don't slack on it. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna hit her up later. No, hit her up after this damn reading right now. Because let me tell
Yeah.
you something. This right here will change your life. You're talking about investing $15, and she could give you extensive reading for 10 minutes. And guess what? Her readings is something that you could go back and still have her readings from back way then. So I would highly recommend
Mhm.
contacting Karina. This is her course right here. I will make sure I put in a link description down below. But for the most part, when you contact her, she'll give you all the information.
Yes. And thank you
Um,
so much for having me on your platform. I really appreciate it.
oh my God, you already know. Wait,
Mhm.
we didn't even do you have a YouTube?
I do. I most of my YouTube has changed because I have so many different readings. My YouTube is mainly focused on Venus because I have a reading that is a more extensive reading called the Venus Beauty Profile. But I still will break down different other topics, but I call it now the Venus Blueprint because a lot of my work on that YouTube has to do with femininity, Venus, and the Venus beauty profile. So that's a very cliche part of my practice that I've condensed down to just Venus on my YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, you guys. Um, it's a pleasure, Karina. Thank you so much for your time. Look, we hit at
Thank you.
7:45 on the dot. You saw that's that Saturn vibe.
Woo!
I was expecting because I knew
Yes.
I could chat. I could chat,
Yeah,
and I wasn't
same.
trying to do it to you. So, um,
Yes.
we hitting it on the details. Make sure you guys
Yes.
go check out Karina. Her Facebook is right there. Her Cash App, if you want to throw some donations in there. Her email is right there. Okay, and this is the course. If you guys, her
Udemy.
profile,
Hmm.
and there's plenty of stuff in there. Check it
Yeah.
out.
Hmm.
And with that being said, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Karina,
Thank
coming
you.
on the channel.
Thank
And
you.
run this back, you guys, because she spoke about a lot of things on this. And this it's only the beginning. We only in January 1/11,
Yes.
2024, baby. We out here
Let's
making
go,
it.
you guys.
Let's go. So
Make it happen this year, you all.
some
Hmm.
worksheets, y'all. Karina, thank you, baby. I'm gonna probably get me
Me
a
too.
work. I need to get a worksheet my damn self, and I'll definitely contact you again. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Queen.
Thank you. Have a good
Right,
one.
y'all. Peace. Yes, y'all, man. What a great that was a great ass reading. I hope that y'all will go on and check out Karina. Uh, look, this is my locks right here. Look, I cut this shit off like no cap, like 45 minutes before the videos. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I cut them shits off. It was too heavy. And then when speaking to Karina just now on the video, I don't know if y'all started seeing me smirk. I was smirking the whole time because I was just like, wow, like how deep is this? The transitions, the Pluto energy, everything that she said was just so fucking real. Yes, I did cut off my locks. I sure enough did. I sure enough did. And I feel great. I feel amazing. It's not the first. This is my fourth set of locks. So if you're new to my channel, then you only see me with locks. But I had short hair for a hot minute. Um, my shit's not aligned. So I want to show you. My shit's got patchies. My shit's patchy as hell. So I ain't gonna even do that to y'all right now. But look. Hey, that's all I'm gonna show y'all right now. That's all. Okay. I gonna have to wait till the Caesar come. But with that being said, y'all, listen. Thank you. Listen, I'm Saturn, baby. We always look good. Saturn, baby. We always look good in these trees, baby. Look, a little puff came out. Damn, y'all got me out here looking crazy. All right, I'm gonna get off this. Make sure y'all go check out Korea. I love y'all, and I speak to y'all soon. Peace.